In episode 22, The Veil of Whispers, Ryan, Alina, and Hannery discovered an eerie forest consumed by an unnatural fog. Drawn by the haunting sound of whispers and strange markings on the trees, they uncovered the legend of a grieving woman whose veil still searches for answers after her tragic death. As Alina wore the cursed veil to decipher the ghost's message, she was momentarily possessed by the lost soul, revealing a horrifying betrayal that had rooted the spirit in eternal anguish. The trio narrowly escaped, but the whispers left behind a chilling warning. She knows you now. The old bell rang again last night, but there was no one there to ring it, or was there? They say, when the bell tolls, the hollow widow walks again, her veil soaked in grief, her eyes seething with rage. Welcome back to Haunted Love, Shadow of Love, where love meets terror in the darkest corners of human emotion. The wind howled through the forgotten valley, whistling past the crumbling remains of a chapel that had not heard prayers in over a century. But last night, the villagers whispered. The bell atop the hollow widow's chapel rang 3 long, agonizing tolls. Ryan, Alina, and Hannery stood at the base of the hill, eyes fixed on the decaying structure above. The chapel's silhouette clawed at the blood-red sky as though trying to scratch its way out of time itself. This place wasn't even on the map, Hannery muttered, clutching a cold iron pendant he had started wearing since their last encounter. Alina squinted. That bell, it sounded like it came from another world. Ryan stepped forward. Then let's find out why it's calling to us. The doors creaked open with a shriek that sent a chill down their spines. Dust swirled around them as they entered. The wooden pews were warped and broken, and the stained glass windows were nothing more than shattered stories now lost to time. But what caught their attention was the large brass bell suspended above. A thick rope hung beneath it, swaying slightly despite the still air. Etched into the bell's body were strange, indecipherable symbols, and beneath it sat an old altar draped in a decaying black veil. That's not a normal bell, Alina said, stepping closer. It feels like it's watching. Suddenly, the rope snapped and the bell crashed to the ground, but instead of a clang, it emitted a deep, guttural wail that reverberated through their bones. The air grew icy. A whisper slithered through the chapel. Where is my groom? From the shadowed apse at the far end of the chapel, she emerged, a woman in a tattered bridal gown, face covered by a black lace veil, floated inches above the ground. Her hands were skeletal, her veil dripping as though soaked in blood. The bell's echo faded into a low sobbing as she was betrayed on her wedding night, Hannery whispered. The groom ran off. She rang the bell to call him, and when he never came, she cursed it to toll for betrayal forever. Alina began to back away, but the widow's head turned toward Ryan. She screamed a sound that cracked the remaining stained glass and paralyzed their limbs. You rang my bell. You will marry me now, she growled. The chapel distorted, transforming into a dark wedding hall, complete with flickering candles and decaying roses. Ryan stood at the altar, unable to move, as the widow glided toward him, lifting her veil, revealing a hollow void where her face should be. Say, I do, and she'll consume his soul, Hannery shouted, rummaging through his bag. Alina sprang forward, grabbed the iron pendant from Hannery's neck, and lunged toward the widow. As she pressed it against the ghostly bride's heart, the veil burst into flames. The widow shrieked, and her form dissolved into ash, echoing one last toll of the cursed bell. The chapel collapsed behind them as they escaped. Ryan, shaking, whispered. She was never waiting for her groom. She was hunting for a new one. As they walked down the hill, the wind carried a whisper on its back. I will ring again. The hollow widow may have vanished, but her curse lingers. Can love survive when ghosts of the past refuse to die? Join us in the next episode of Haunted Love, Shadow of Love, where romance and terror walk hand in hand into the unknown.